Hey, it's Denise. Welcome to my humble abode. Today I'm going to be sharing 7 upcoming cozy mystery games that you can check out this year in 2024. Over the years, I've seen a lot of cozy games come out. No longer is it just farm games. There's also a lot of different types of genres within the cozy sphere now. And I feel like murder mysteries are one of them, especially with the incredible rise of the true crime girlies, you know? And without further ado, let's get started with the first game. Locomotive is a mystery point-and-click adventure game where you play as Diana, Arthur, and Herman after becoming the prime suspects in a murder on the Ruse Express. On the eve of a landmark speech by the wealthy heiress, Lady Unterwald, a straight-laced lawyer, a crime novelist turned rookie detective, and an undercover spy find themselves embroiled in a murder, a mystery, and, worst of all, an adventure. Now stuck on board a luxurious steam train within stabbing distance of a cold-blooded killer, the race is on to prove their innocence once and for all. Locomotive will release in Q1 of 2024 on PC, Mac, and Switch. This next game I've actually tried the demo for and I loved it, especially the Ace Attorney style of this game. And if you're an Ace Attorney fan as well, I think you're really gonna like this next one. Perjury is a mystery visual novel where you play Justina Smith, a newly hired clerk at the Jersey City Police Department as she finds out the truth behind a series of suspicious crimes. And this all started with a simple robbery. And when that single thread was pulled, an entire tapestry of mysteries was revealed. Solve cases and outsmart criminals in a detective story full of lies, confessions, and maybe even a murder or two. Work with eccentric detectives Ernest Hunt and Sophie Swift as you investigate crime scenes, interrogate suspects, and discover the secrets hidden among the paper trails. Perjury is set to release sometime in early 2024 on PC and the Steam Deck. Whenever I tell the story about my first experience with gaming, I always talk about my Game Boy or my PS2, but the real first game that I've ever played was a point-and-click game on the PC, and it holds such a special place in my heart, which is why I think this next game is going to be a hit if you're a point-and-click fan. Shadows of the Afterland is a supernatural point-and-click adventure where you get to step into Carolina's shoes and delve into a detective mystery to unravel the enigma shrouding some unfortunate events. But here's the thing, you don't recall your death, and you haven't even been born yet. However, you can cross between realms and possess a living to unearth your haunting past, where you'll confront supernatural forces to find out if you are merely a pawn of destiny or if you can change your own future. This story is set in 1960s Madrid after a chilling incident unfolds at the city's old zoo, leading to a mysterious death that propels a soul to the threshold between the world of the living and the afterlife. But when the transition goes awry, the soul arrives with the memories of Carolina, one of the pioneers of the Madrid police force, who has not yet been born. There's a whole bunch to explore in the wacky realm of the afterlife, which is teeming with a bunch of unique characters with its own rules. Shadows of the Afterland will release in 2024 on PC, Mac, Linux, and Switch. Before we get into the next game, I just want to say one of my favorite games of all time has got to be Kraken Island by Happy Broccoli Games. It is one of the silliest, funniest games ever with a bunch of side quests and a whole bunch of menacing monsters and situations, and I absolutely loved it. But the reason why I'm talking about this game is because the next game that I'm talking about is also created by that same studio, and it's a new upcoming game. Like, I'm so excited, and it marries a lot of different ideas from the anime Agretzko and the return of Oberdins. So mash those two things up and you got that next game, okay? Duck Detective is a cozy mystery game about a down-on-his-luck duck searching for answers in a sinister sausage-based conspiracy. Of course, solving crime is no walk in the pond, especially as a down-on-his-luck detective who also just happens to be a duck. Interview suspects to learn their hidden secrets and use your powers of deduction to inspect evidence, fill in the blanks, and bust the case wide open in a narrative mystery adventure where nothing is quite as it seems. Duck Detective: The Secret Salami will release in 2024 on PC. Moving on to the next topic, I just want to say that the Nintendo DS is probably one of the best eras for Nintendo. And honestly, it's not just because Nintendo DS was a big part of my childhood. It's also partially because of the form factor of the DS. It's like a touchscreen, and there were so many different games that really took advantage of this concept. And one of those games was called Hotel Dust Room 215. It is a monumental Japanese detective game that I feel like not a lot of people tried. For classic Nintendo DS gamers, though, this game is humongous. It's like top tier. It's like so good. And the next game is inspired by that game and many other Japanese classics, so get excited for this next one. Detective Instinct Farewell My Beloved is a brand new detective adventure game / visual novel in the style of classic adventure games from Japan. Following the grisly murder of a man in an unassuming hotel, a woman vanishes without a trace while traveling on a cross-country train. The catch? Nobody on board remembers her ever existing in the first place. Nobody except for you. Investigate areas and interrogate witnesses on the path towards solving the mystery and uncovering a sinister conspiracy. Detective Instinct Farewell My Beloved will release sometime in 2024 on PC. Moving on, let's talk about the early launch games of the Nintendo Switch. Do you remember Snipperclips? That snipping game where you move around all the little blocks? But anywho, the creators of Snipperclips also created a really great game called Tangle Tower, a mystery game that has two silly little detectives that solve murders and mysteries. Is that not the perfect combination? Well, it's a good thing they came out with another game with the same two detectives on another quirky little case. The Mermaid's Tongue is a mystery adventure where you follow two quirky detectives, aka Detective Grimoire and Sally, on a new case after a mysterious murder took place in the pitch black waters beyond a long-abandoned fishing town, where the enigmatic captain of the world's strangest submarine, Magnus Mortuga, was murdered. Some say he was an immortal time traveler, others say he was a vampire cursed to stay hidden beneath the waves forever. But here's the reality. He was found alone in a locked room with only an ancient stone cauldron to suggest how he might have died. And it's up to Detective Grimoire and Sally to piece together what really happened. Was it a curse released from the cauldron? One of the submarine's eccentric crew? Or does the bizarre truth run even deeper? The Mermaid's Tongue is set to release sometime in 2024 on unspecified consoles and PC. Alrighty, so I feel like a lot of these stories are really just me recounting my past and why I like all these games. But you know what? Games was a really big part of my life, okay? It was my dream to have a collection of games. But before that, I had an iPad and I was an iPad kid, okay? I would play all these games for free on my iPad, and there was this one game about this really cute girl and she dreams of becoming a detective. Now, this game was on the iPad for a while, and then I wanted to go ahead and replay that game again and re-download it, but apparently it's not available anymore. So I went ahead and bought the DS games. These two games were freaking expensive. They're called Touch Detective 1 and Touch Detective 2.5, but the thing is, Touch Detective 3 was never released until now. Touch Detective 3 plus the complete case files is a jam-packed collection that features Touch Detective 3, the biggest and best point-and-click adventure of Junior Detective Mackenzie and her faithful sidekick Fungi, playable in English for the very first time. And with the arrival in town of the highly competitive detective Norman Touch, the pressure's on Mackenzie to solve cases before her rival does. Help Mackenzie and her friends as they search for clues, interview suspects, and get to the bottom of one zany mystery after another. Touch Detective 3 and the complete case files will release on March 28th of 2024 on the Switch. Now, what do you think about all those games? I am so excited for all of them, especially Duck Detective and Touch Detective. Girl, those are my jam. Those are my favorites. I don't know. I love all of them, actually. I want to buy every single one of them. They're all so good. They all seem so fun. I'm just so excited. But I just want to go ahead and make this really quick and casual video just to share some of my favorites, and hopefully you're excited about them as well. And let's fangirl together. But keep an eye out for new videos. I am currently in my otome and dating sim era, but this is pretty perfect because we're in the month of Valentine's, the month of love, the month of romance, so this is a pretty apt moment, right? I'm also going to explore a lot of different other content. It's getting a little stale for me to create the same things all the time, and I want to try to expand a little bit more, so keep an eye out for those types of videos, and I'll see you in the next one.